Hi and welcome to my channel. It's Monday evening and I have finally some time to film because during the daytime there was some remodeling in the bedroom that was there next to my craft room, and there was a lot of drilling and everything going on, so it was too noisy to film. So now finally I have some time, and the last week I have saw so many views and a lot of new subscribers. So welcome to my new subscribers, and welcome to all viewers. And I was very blown away by the amount, and very exciting to it gives me a boost to start filming again. And as you can see, if you look into my channel, there are not a lot of videos up yet because I've just begun, but there's lots more to come. And I first want to establish my channel that I have a rhythm and I feel more comfortable with it. And then I think maybe some more exciting things are coming. So, but let's not get ahead of myself, because I finally want to show you part 2 of the file folder book. And I've been experimenting a lot because the being creative is not new to me, but this kind of crafting is. So a lot of techniques that I'm doing is just about experimenting how the ink and the paper reacting to each other, and it's a lot of fun but also time consuming. So before I start a project, I practice a lot with on bits of paper on how I want to do it. So in part 1 I explained that I want to make a file folder book made out of 3 file folders, and sew that in a paperback cover. So I've been organizing, because maybe you recognize being creative, you are kind of chaotic, but also you need some organization. So it's balancing these two. And my organization is that I am putting all the different file folders in bags. So this is one file folder, this is the cover, so you already see the paperback, but this is, and I also have a lot of extras I put in here, and this is file folder 3. So let me show you the first file folder, because this is still not assembled and I want to do that on camera. But I have file folder 1 ready. So that took some time because I was also experimenting, because I'm using these graphical layers from Tim Holtz. And here I have one that is fresh and new, and this is very sturdy, very thick, and it also gives a lot of bulk to your page if you're gluing, like here, two on top of each other. And also on the inside there are these layers, but they're kind of fun, but also they're very smooth, so I need to experiment in what I can do with it and cannot do with it. And it's fun, it's a great learning experience. But I do love the black and white kind of graphical drawings of these ornaments. So I kind of want to distress them, and I've been with this file folder, I did a lot of ink distressing and also some sanding. But with the second file folder I'm going to do also some other things with it. But first let me show you this one. because there are some things that going to be the same with every file folder. And one of them is of course the graphic layers, but also the color scheme, and a little bit of the layout, like having a word here that I used from the rub-ons. But it's about this is where it started, with these two pictures, and I've decided that these two are collectors, and in the file folder 2 and 3 will be showing some of what they are collecting. And it's from, of course, a different time era, and so it's a bit vintagey. And you see in the background, I was trying to do some stenciling. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I have to hold it up very close. You can see it, but I did it with an oxide, so it turns gray-ish. It is nice, but it's not so visible. So that's why I did some a little bit of collaging with collage paper. And that was not my intention, but it wasn't necessary. Otherwise it was looking not vintagey at all. So this is the inside. The front is like the head, and the rose is like the man and the woman. And I did some little collaging here. And this is the back side. And you see some fabric here. So my mother, who can sew really good, she made me some little, well, she always has some little bits of fabric laying around. So I said to her, can you not make some little pieces for me with just some random sewing on it? And she said okay. And I said, but it doesn't have, it has to be very straight. And that's very she doesn't really get what I'm doing, like with the vintaging and the junk journal. So she's like, okay. But I think she did a really good job here with zigzag here. So I'm very pleased with it. So I have a little bag with all kinds of stuff she made. And I did also here some collaging with the rice pay of the collage paper. And you can already see that it's it's kind of bulky, but that's okay because it will need some filling, the book. So now I'm going to start with the second file folder, and I have a different color for this one. It's a lighter green, and for the third one I have the same paper. And I also folded it the other way around so that the tag is on the top. And then the third one is in the same kind of green as is with the tab on the bottom. So I thought about, yeah, I can cut this off and make another tab here, but I don't have a tab that is kind of the same, and I just don't want to get my attention to do that. So I just decided on, it's okay, like here's the tab, and the third tab will be here. Okay, so this one is finished, and I will put this to the side and put it on my desk for reference. And so this paper, I bought it at a craft store, but it's very absorbent, so it slurps the paint, and it's more of a challenge to make something vintage from like a plain nice color. So it's an extra challenge, but I don't mind. So it gives me extra play. So the second folder, where are here are my rub-ons. The second folder is going to be curiosities, and I'm going to put that on the tab. And then I was planning on using these as curiosities and doing the same as in the first. I put it on the background, and these I made it yesterday. And these are, it's just a white cardstock, and I braided some acrylic paint on it, some different greens I have. I don't have everything, but I have two types of green. I think I used cracked pistachio and something darker green, and I used the frayed burlap and the iced, how's it called? Let me look. Spruce, iced spruce. So I just braided it on the paper, and then I cut it with the die cut from the Specimen folder. From this one, I used this one, the biggest die from this, and I have to distress it, the edges, but I want to put the shells somehow on top. And this one, I was already playing around with how I want to show it, but I want to show it at the most curious way, so that the shape of the shell is really nice. So I think I'm going to do it like this. So this is going to be on the inside, and now it doesn't look any interesting around. So you see, I have to do something with this background. So I'm going to do that, and I show you my experiment. This is an experiment I did. I sanded it a little bit, and I put some crackle paste. Just with my fingers, I just went around, and then after it dried, I let it air dry, so that takes some time. And then I just, with a brush like this one, and I used walnut stain, I just painted it. And I also used some frayed burlap, so to have two different kinds of browns to get some depth in it. So that's what I did, and I thought this would be nice to do with the shells, because this looks very flat and crisp, and I wanted to look more like this one. So I'm going to do that with the shells, and maybe that's what I'm going to do first, because this has to air dry, and so it's maybe best to do that first. And on the front and back, I thought about the fish, because the shells, the fish, and it's a bit of a curious fish, and I thought about doing half here, because it needs to be a little bit strange. So I thought half here and half there, like this. And I don't know if I want to do crackle on this, because then it's going to be everything in crackle, and I don't know. So probably not. But I thought about this has to go on, I think, on the back side, like this. And then on the front, I thought, what should I put? And I have these I made when I bought some dies, label dies, and I made these in another project, the previous projects. And I also want to use this one, and I don't know where, maybe on the inside. I have two different ones, so let's see. And then because I need to do something with the surface, I want to stencil, and I did a tester. Oh, here. And I did a test with these, and I kind of like this. This is with the vintage photo ink, and this is with the walnut stain oxide. So you can see that this one is more brighter and the other one is more muted and more gray. I kind of like both, so I thought about mixing them. So, but doing this one on most of the surface, and then some little areas with the vintage which need to a little bit of pick me up. So that's the plan for the inside. And on the outside, I'm also going to do some stenciling, and I have this. I think this is from Stamperia. Yes. And I tested this one, and it's the bottom. And I kind of like this. So I thought about doing this. I did this with the vintage photo ink. This on the bottom, and then some text, just random on the page, just to break up the surface. Okay, so that's it. And then I think I'm going to start with the two shells, and then afterwards do the stenciling. So let's clear this, and then let's do this. And I have a piece of paper underneath. I have to grab something. This is okay. Okay, so here I have, I used it in a previous with the grungy ATCs where I sanded the craft paper. So I really like this one, and you can also use it on this, and it gives, maybe you can see it in this one. I sanded this one, but you will see the scratches here in here, and also in here, and in the head. But it also gives a little bit more vintage look. And I have the idea that the paint, the ink, is also grabbing better on the paper when you sand it. So I make sure I will sand the edges for a better grip of for the paste and the ink, and just randomly sand the other pieces. This is it, and then it's drying time. So this and this one, and I was going to stencil with the walnut stain, and I have vintage photo ink. I have the small one. This is the big pad. I use a lot of walnut stain for distressing edges. do you think? There's a frame coming here, so I don't think you will see it. So it's going to be like this. Oh no, it's going to be like this, and this one down. And then of course I have to edge everything, and maybe I'm going to do that now, because then I can see if it needs any more. Okay, so that it's this is the inside, and the outside. Do I want to do the stenciling first and then the edging? Yes, let's do it in the same order. Next to this fold, I could tape it, but it's just such a small piece, and I'm going to do that with the vintage photo. Okay, I like this. So maybe this border is also nice to do on this side, but then just the border. Look at that. I like this. And then I'm going to do some text. So this gives a nice pattern, and it breaks the just green background. And now I'm going to edge this. Inside. I do like this text on it. And maybe I'm going to do, but I'm going to maybe stamp some text here. I do have a lot of text stamps, so it's maybe nice to do that inside. But I'm first going to, I think, do the rub-on this side. Curiosities. So this is the beginning, and then also need to edge these ones and have to wait for the glue or for the crackle paste to dry. So I cut the fishy. So this was the fish, and so the tail is going here, and on the back side this one is going here, and I also cut a bit of this trunk, and this one is going here, and I need to be just mindful of the placing. I think this trunk is going to be a bit more down. So like this. And already inked it. I sanded it. The sanding does help with attaching the ink to the paper. So I do sand only the edges. And then I think it will be enough. See, it just gets it right away. Looks very nice. So this is going to be here, fishy there, and there you have it. And then I need to glue it, and then we're going to do the final touches and see what the page needs more, like rub-ons or maybe some label or anything. And then here, or the green one, or this one. I think this is very nice, maybe a little bit lower. This will maybe be enough with some little black embellishments like rub-ons on it, and then yeah, I think so. So I did a little bit of work off camera, gluing some things on and stamping a bit of text, and the shells, they are dried, and look at how this crackle paste has become really nice. But it's still a very flat picture without any depth, but now we're going to paint it and then it's going to be totally different. So I'm going to do that on camera so you can see, and then we're going to assemble the rest. I've already been cutting out some pieces from the collage strips. They are laying here, and just picking out a little bit of blue bits to give it some color out of the green and the browns. But first I want to color the shells and then glue everything on the page. So I'm going to use the oxides, the walnut stain and the frayed burlap. I'll start with the frayed burlap. I have my mixed media mat here on the side. You can see it a little bit. And I'm going to put some on, just a little bit. And then I have my water brush. And I'm just going to randomly paint it. It's a bit, with the oxide, it's maybe a little bit scary to paint, but it's the color will get very muted, very matte, and it will also soak into the in the crackle paste and in the paper. So it looks like you're putting on a lot, but lots of it will disappear. And it's just following the form, the shape. That's Dutch, the form, the shape. Following the shape of the shell. Then it will always give you a good result. I'm gonna spritz a little bit of water with my paint because there's not a lot of water coming out of this brush. Doesn't look like much now, but you know, with those distress colors, it's like layers, putting layers on layers. And start off with the lightest color, of which you apply the most, and then with the darkest color there are some accents to give it more depth. I do like this crackle paste. I've also ordered some translucent, and that will give some other options. I don't know why I bought the opaque. I didn't thought of that there was a translucent version, but this is okay. But you kind of have to paint it or give it color, or it just will be white. And well, maybe in some occasions that will be okay, but it looks like you see that the color is already muted down a lot. I have a little bit left of the frayed burlap. It is a nice, it's not too light, this color, the frayed burlap, and it's not too dark, so it's a nice in-between color. And I do want to give these crackles just a little bit of a coating. And the edge I'm going to do with the blending tool, so okay. And then the walnut stain, going to put that color underneath because maybe I want to use some frayed burlap. Put on the cover of the inks because, you know, this sweater the edges of, this is my craft room sweater, but the edges of my sleeves, they will go through the paint, as has already happened on some occasions. And that's why I have a craft room sweater. And then let's see. Well, if you put on too much water, as I did now, then the color will lose the strength of, or the darkness. Gonna put some more walnut stain on. And then without water, then it's darker. It is a time-consuming thing, but very nice to do. But you really have to put on. I could maybe also use acrylic. I haven't tried it, but I don't have a walnut stain in the acrylic. I do have some black, so I could maybe mix something, but I've decided to invest more in the ink pads than in the acrylic paints because I just use this more. You kind of can only invest in so much, you know, there is a limit, at least with me. Oh, off camera, sorry. It's not how I usually paint, like I'm holding this very high in front of my face, just to let you show how this works. We're getting somewhere now. And I think also the new color would be very nice, but I don't have it yet. It's coming. It's on its way. But you know, it's nice to buy new stuff, but I get very distracted by it because I want to use it, and then I will leave the things I'm busy with, I will leave them. But in this instance, I could use it in my project. You see it already gets some depth. Right? And then I think I have to work on it a little bit more, and then it will go on here, and it makes such a difference from this one, as you can see. And if I distress the edge with a dark color, then it will give a really nice result. So I'm going to finish both of these shells off camera, otherwise it will be just such a long video. I just finished this shell, and I want to let you see the difference and the depth it will get after you get finished. So now going to do the other one. So the shells are done, and look at how different this looks. This was what I had in mind. It looks very beautiful. So now I want to glue these and embellish this inside. And I because the colors are changed, I also don't need that much of collage strips, I think. But I do want to put a piece of washi tape here. I also put a piece of washi tape here. I had a fish in the washi tape, so I thought that was nice. And then this will be enough for here. And then I want to put some washi tape on this one. And I have this. And it's from Elizabeth's craft design. And I want to put just a little bit, a strip, just here. With a little bit of the black piece here, not the entire thing, but a little bit. And there's some writing on it. Let's put a piece on. Okay, so it will be like this. And then where is my sanding? Yes. Oh. And I glued some of these, what are they called? A little bit of, I got it from from my dentist. Some from these gauzes, or how do you call them? Just the small things. And I immediately thought, that would be nice for my craft room. So I just inked it. And there are just little pieces, so that's very nice. So I put a piece on here, and I put a piece here down below. And yeah, it gives it a little bit extra. So this is the washi, and I just want to give it a little sand. Then it will integrate more with the surface. Just a bit. Then it will not look like it's really like taped on. So I think this looks nice with the shell. And it doesn't need that much more. I think this is enough, so I can glue the shell. Let's do that. Glue the shell. So then that is stuck. So put it here, kind of centered. So this is done. And then for this one, I just wanted to go off this rectangle only on the left side. Yes, also over here, I don't know if you can hear it on the video, but it's also windy. I'm also, oh, I just also glued it here. That's not. Of course, looking at fellow crafters' videos and hearing the wind in the videos. Yes, also here, that's in the east part of the Netherlands near the German border. Okay, so this is also done. And I think I'm going to glue them because I don't need to do anything. Yes, I'm going to glue them. This one here and this one here. I did some text stamping, just random text stamping on the page. Just to break up the page a little bit. I think I had a little bit higher, like this. I don't know if this will offer just, well, it doesn't matter if it's not glued, it can be, it's okay. And then this one. And this one needs to go a little bit higher. Like here. So I did the figure 1 and figure 2 rub-on, and that looks very nice, and it fits the theme of the collectors. So now this is on, I can also show you the fronts, because I already did the front with the fish, and also use some of these gauzes on the front, and some rub-ons. So this one, this one, this one, and of course on this tab, and here, here and here, and a little bit what was left from the front. So finish the inside. I think it already looks very nice, but I just want to put a little bit of embellishing on it. So I got a lot of cutouts, but at first I wanted to use a lot of them, but now I think, not that much. I do like this one. The color fits with this card, so I was thinking of putting this here, not entirely centered here. And then I like the font of this text, so I could do this here. And I also like this. I like the color, and also the bit of wallpaper. It's just for the color and for how it looks. It doesn't have to do anything with the theme. And cut a piece off, because otherwise it will be all the same length. Then cut a little piece off, edge it like Don't know how much, but let's see. Oh, that was a loud bang from my scissors. These are my big IKEA scissors. And when I have to cut out something very straight or a large piece, then I use these ones. They are very heavy. And otherwise I will use my little scissor. And I think this will do. And then let's edge everything. The small pieces are edging my fingers more than the paper, but that's okay. Yes, this is nice. And then edging this. Where's my walnut stain? Here. And this one here. It's maybe a little bit too far away for you to see, so let's bring it up close. So it will be like this. And then this one, maybe, do I want the entire? Or I want to cut it a little piece off. Just a small strip on both sides. And I have this here. And then maybe use a stamp on top of it, like the received stamp would be nice to blend it all together. Yes, I think I'm going to do that. Let's commit to it. And I think I need my tweezers for this, for the small bits. And I have this here. And then this one. Here. And earlier I was talking about new color, but I kind of presumed you all know what I'm talking about. The new Tim Holtz color. But I think I didn't mention the scorched timber. But I'm seeing a lot of videos from fellow crafters. And I kind of like what I see, what they are doing with the color. And it would be a nice addition to what I already have. But right now I have to do with the walnut stain. And let's see if the walnut stain will get replaced. I don't know. I do like the walnut stain. It was the first color I bought. So let's see if I want to stamp anything. Put this aside. It's always nice when you see a project coming together, when things are glued down. It's very satisfying. And does it need a stamp? Let's see. I kind of like a bit of a circle on here. So let's see. I have my field notes think these are the right stamps for this project. And let's see if I'm going to do one here. Because I do like the stamp, so I can put one here. I think over it. But it doesn't have to be a really clear image, so let's get some paper under it. And then I always use the archival because this is just not that juicy. And maybe I have to do a second generation stamp. Stamp it up good, and then stamp once, and then stamp here. That's okay. I think this is just what it needed, just not too big of a attention stamp. If I can say that. If it's very juicy, very black, it will draw all the attention to the stamp, and that's not what I want. But then it kind of ties everything together. And I think I also want it here. And then maybe not this stamp, but the other one. Let's do that. Clean this one up and get the biggest circle. So nice, this stamp sets, that you have these two circles. Someone really thought about this, because this you can decide if you want to have something with a number or you want something with the text on it. And I don't necessarily need the number on it, because I'm going to do the same as I did on the other page. So I'm going to do something like this, but then a little bit tilted, because then I don't want the text to be very straight. So like this, and I'm doing the same process. Stamp once here, and then stamp here. Look at that. So these two stamps, I think, will tying everything together. So I'm satisfied with this. It doesn't need any more. And this is going to be the second folder. Done. And then let's have a look. Putting the stamp back. And let's have a look at this file folder. So this is the first, the second, and then you also see the tabs here and the tabs on this side. So there's a little pop of blue coming back on the pages. And this is the second one. There's no blue on here, but that's okay. I could decide maybe to use a little bit of washi tape, some blue. But for now that's okay, because I want to get on with the third one. And it's still in the bag.